I'm going to make some chocolate peanut butter brownies, and they're sort of decadent. They have even, you can make a chocolate peanut butter topping, like a frosting. You don't have to make that, but you can. And of course it starts with dry ingredients, wet ingredients mixed together, then we put them in the pan and bake them. So it's pretty simple. And for this recipe I'm using whole wheat pastry flour, which is lighter than whole wheat flour, and it's good in baked goods. So I've got a cup of that. I've got half a cup of date sugar. I've got 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And then I have a teaspoon of baking powder. I should look at my recipe so that I'm not telling you the wrong thing. A half teaspoon of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, half teaspoon of kosher salt, and then this last 2 teaspoons is of this coffee substitute. It's called Unforgettable Coffee Alternative, made from whole brown rice powder. You could use espresso powder, but I'm very sensitive to caffeine, so I started using this coffee substitute. So there you go. Those are our dry ingredients. And now I'm going to do the wet ingredients. That helps me organize it. The wet ingredients are also simple. As you notice, I use date syrup a lot because I've tried to get away from using sugar. So I'm just going to put all these together in a bowl and let you see what they are. So date syrup, I like to just buy the date syrup. Some people use date paste and other forms of dates, but in this recipe I'm using date syrup, so use the same form because they all cook differently. And then I have a half a cup of apple butter. Apple butter is more concentrated than applesauce. A lot of people use applesauce in their baked goods, but I found that apple butter has a better texture for a lot of things. And then I have half a cup or 1/4 of a cup of peanut butter. And I'm using this really nice organic peanut butter that's crunchy. You can see the peanuts in it. I just like this texture of peanut butter. I use this brand. I get it at the local grocery store. Nothing better, and there's nothing in it but peanuts and a little sea salt. Not much. Don't get the peanut butters that have palm oil and a bunch of other additives. They won't be any good. And then there's a flax egg, and a flax egg is a tablespoon of ground flaxseed mixed with 3 tablespoons of water. And it's kind of egg-like. If you look at it closely, you can see it's kind of, looks like an egg in the texture of it. Well, it does add that nice little boost to your baked goods. So that's another of the wet ingredients. A teaspoon of vanilla, that in there. And then last but not least, when we get ready to mix all this together in a minute, I'm going to add a half a cup of almond milk. I added the almond milk, and now I'm just mixing everything up. And your wet ingredients should look like this. It should be a very liquid kind of a mixture. Don't use old dried out ingredients like peanut butter that's been sitting in your refrigerator for a long time and it's all kind of cakey and dried up, because you won't get the texture. And I've taken the dry ingredients and I've used a whisk to kind of whisk everything together, because we want all that baking powder, baking soda, cocoa powder, we want everything to get mixed together well. And then the next step is going to be putting these dried ingredients in to the wet ingredients. So I've put the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients and I've mixed it together. You don't want to over mix this. You want to just make sure you get them mixed well, but not too much, just until everything is moistened. And then you can start adding the 3/4 of a cup of chopped up chocolate. I use a 73% dark chocolate from El Rey, which I really love because it's vegan. It's got a really rich, deep chocolate flavor that I love, and it, it's not too sweet. And then I have my chopped up, roughly chopped peanuts, and we're just going to mix this all together and get ready to put it in the pan. I've got the chocolate and I've got the peanuts in here, and now I'm going to get it in the pan. It's going to take me a couple times. You see the batter's really thick. It's like, you know, brownie batter is a thick batter. So we get it in here and then we're going to have to spread it out. Okay, so I've got my batter. I'm trying to spread it out. I've got one little corner left. So you want to make sure it's even, otherwise your brownies are going to come out lopsided. So I kind of take my offset spatula and I go around the whole area and kind of flatten it down to make sure it's nice and even. Then all we have to do is get it in the oven. All we have left to do is put it in a 350-degree oven, and I found that 30 minutes was the right amount of time. And you check it with the toothpick test. If the toothpick comes out clean, they're done. So now we have to make our topping or our frosting, and it's super simple. I've got some of my same peanut butter, about half a cup. And you could make this with other nut butters like almond butter, but this is a peanut butter chocolate bar, so that's why I'm sticking with the peanut butter for the frosting. 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 5 tablespoons of almond milk, and 3 tablespoons of date syrup. And then we'll mix this together and get it ready to spread on our cooled cake. Okay, so it's been out of the oven and cooled. Don't be in a big hurry. You have to make sure it's cooled, or else it's not going to come out of your pan very well. And I'm going to get my parchment paper off of here. And set it here on my nice cake plate. Get this out of my way. Got my hand all dirty. Alright, so now I've got my beautiful frosting, topping, whatever you want to call it. Peanut butter, chocolate, goodness. And then that goes right here on top. We're not going to put it down the sides, just the top, because it's brownies, it's not a cake. And then I have an offset spatula, which is a great way for spreading things because it lays flat. Once I finish this, we will slice a piece and try it. All right, I'm excited. It's ready. I've got the frosting on it, all the chocolate and peanuts. And now the true test is cut a nice piece. It cuts well. It's nice and fudgy on the inside, not dry. Got the nice frosting. And then, wow, that was so rich and delicious and moist. Everything I wanted it to be, it is. I hope you enjoy making this chocolate peanut butter brownies, and be sure to make the topping because that just adds that little extra special touch. So thanks for watching, and come back and watch more of my videos.